Hello everyone. I wanted to do a little throw and chat session because I am retackling the mushroom goal of just exploring how to make and portray a good type of a mushroom sculpture. I mean, first of all, mushrooms are so cool and they deserve respect. So I want to make a sculpture that can accurately represent the magical nature of them. Hold on, this is gonna be loud. I like mushrooms for more than just aesthetics though. Fungi in general has so many beautiful uses. I mean, they can be used as medicine, and they fertilize the forest and the ground, and they can grow off of dead things. They can grow in the dark. They can be symbolic for going through struggle. They can be, yeah. That was my sweet grandma. I love her. What was I talking about? I love mushrooms. So much of the ecosystem is built off of fungi, and I think there's ways that you can use it to replace plastic and also make fibers out of them, like for clothes. And scientists, I think in Japan, they used it in like a maze and then studied how the fungi spread out in the maze to figure out the most efficient way to create their subway systems. There's so many beautiful and incredible things that we can learn from nature in general, but I think fungi, especially to me, represent growth, and they represent like metamorphosis, turning into something completely new. And I mean, there's so many, even the gills underneath the mushrooms, those only come out at the end of a mushroom's life when it's dying. And I think it's cool because that's how they release spores and continue living. It's like when they're at their darkest hour. And I think we can learn from that, in our darkest hour. That's where we grow the most. That's when we reach out. That's when we dig deeper. And I just think they're so cool, and I also think they're beautiful. There's so many different kinds of them, and they look so different. And listen, I know that the way that I make mushrooms is kind of literal, right? Like when I was in college, I did a lot of mushrooms and fungi and stuff, and my critiques were always that it was just really literal. And listen, I know that I'm taking like the literal kind of like stereotypical, almost like Hollywood portrayal of mushroom, like skinny and then has a top, and then it's kind of like dots and stuff. And I will explore other ways as well as this, but there's something about it to me that just the long tall shape with the cap on top. I know it's typical. Perhaps it is digestible and, fairy tale like and fantasy like, and you can take kind of that basic shape of a mushroom and then play with the rest of it, and it's really it's not challenging to understand. It's not avant-garde, it's not, I'm not gonna become somehow a famous gallery artist from probably my atypically portrayed mushrooms, but I enjoy making them and I want to experiment how else I can make them in order, I just want to figure out how else I can make them and what maybe are my favorites. I just want to keep experimenting. And I think the biggest thing for me and other people that stops them is not being willing to fail. I saw this TikTok or reel or whatever, and it was like me being absolutely bewildered and shocked that in order to go through the fail and learn process that I must fail. And it sucks. It's hard to fail. It's hard to have those things that you like work on, you spend time on, you have time investment in, and they don't work out. But you did get something that you learned from it. You learned what you didn't like about it. And like, gosh, that's so valuable. I wish that there was a faster way to fail. Actually, that brings me to my next thought, that there was, I was listening to a podcast. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting who it's by. It might be by Brooke Castillo. Brooke Castillo is an incredible, incredible speaker and life coach. I would highly recommend her podcast. But I think one of her ideas was fail faster. Learn how to fail faster. And I think that's really cool. I mean, I just said, I wish you could fail faster. Like, we probably could, honestly, if we just produced more, tried more, was a little bit more loose with our attempts in a way, documented them, saw them purely as experimental, and fail faster. Try to get more fails under your belt. Obviously, you're not trying to fail. Like, obviously, you're trying to find a success in there, and you're trying to learn, but you're never going to get to those if you're always, like, really calculated and really kind of timid and afraid, and it's just never going to happen. You're going to perhaps even stop before you have a chance to try. You can easily let perfectionism stop you. I mean, YouTube actually was one of the biggest things that I let perfectionism stop me for a really long time, because there is such a big barrier to entry in terms of like editing and making something you're proud of and understanding like how the whole system works and how the workflow will work for you. But additionally, I've experienced so much perfectionism fear with my work. And oh my gosh, if you're a potter, if you're an artist, like, you know what it feels like to be feeling like, I need to create, I need to maybe finish this commission, like I just need time in the studio to finish this. But then when it comes time to doing it, it's like you have that fear of, well, what if it doesn't work out, and what's the right idea, what's the right direction? I don't want to work on this commission because I'm not even sure what direction to go. I don't know how these colors will work out. You know, it's just like all of these questions. And then the only way to get rid of those anxieties is to take action, is to try, is to take action to give yourself more data. And then that will help you make another decision, take another step. And then that will help you feel calm because you have more information. You're not just sitting in the dark, not going anywhere anymore. You know? I'm making the stem to another mushroom right now. The one that I threw in one part, I'll show you if you haven't seen it already, but anyways, you can throw a mushroom in one part, but it's solid, it's not hollow. Obviously later I will hollow out like as much as I can with that, but it's in general will always be a little bit smaller and heavier. And this can be taller, use less clay, and be lighter. Also takes a longer amount of time, but that's okay. There's a mini, not a kind of a mini, it's like 1 foot tall mushroom commission, and I'm super excited about doing this. Again, for someone, they want bright colors on it. That's the only really like preference that they had, which is interesting. I do appreciate knowing people's preferences. It's difficult with colors though, because you can't always guarantee how they're going to turn out, and I'm not really like a bright color gal. I don't love like the really pigmented solid brights, like pinks or, you know, purples or greens or whatever. I really don't have any of those, so I'm a little worried, but that is why I'm approaching this commission with multiple mushrooms, multiple tests. I'm going to test colors and things and theories and shapes or whatever multiple times before it comes to hers. So to, you know, not be in the position I was last time where I had this beautiful mushroom that I was happy with the shape. I was happy with a lot of the things about it, but there was something a little bit off about it that I wanted to keep working with, but frankly, I didn't have time, and it was good enough. I didn't want to keep beating myself up for something that, you know, was for someone else's taste, really. And I don't know. I just think that I could have done better, and my approach to that is to try more, like have more experiments beforehand. The trick with these, I think for at least my personal taste, is to have a wider base to really support that wide top. And then it's pretty even throughout, but then thicker at the top to also support the cap that we're gonna put on later. Ooh, she's tippy. Another thing that I thought I could have improved a little bit with the last one, just, you know, based on preference. And look at all these things I'm learning from the last one. The one that I wasn't super crazy about. Like, look at all the beautiful things we're getting from it. I think that the gills underneath, I don't know why I put them there if you can't see them. The mushroom top, well, I mean, there's the detail and stuff you can't always see is important. Don't get me wrong, but like, I feel like if I spent so much time on the gills, and I think they're such a cool part of the mushroom, I should have made the cap a different shape so that they could be more visible. So this cap is going to be real flat, not as thin at first, and then later I'm gonna do a lot to it, so hold yourself back and not throw so thin so that you can do more manipulation with it later. Throwing is, you know, really kind of like the base, the foundation of what you're doing. You're almost like making a canvas, you know, if you're talking in painting terms. You have that blank canvas that then you work on, and this is that blank canvas. So don't make that canvas too flimsy, because then you can't really work on it. Voiceover Marlaina here. Hi guys. I hope that I'm offering a little companionship while you're doing something. Maybe you're doing laundry or eating or having a meal or sleeping, or maybe you're not doing anything. Maybe you're just needing some relax and brain empty time. Maybe I can be your companion for that. Honestly, I am yapping away, so thank you so much for joining me for this. I'm having a great time, and I thought that maybe I could even make a little series out of this. There's a staple. That's from my my wedging table. I staple the canvas down, and there's a staple in my clay. So this did flap a little bit because it's so flat and heavy, but I actually, a lot. It's like flopping a lot. But I actually kind of like how flop it is. I think I might want to still keep this as like the canvas and use it. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let it dry a little. Look. Yeah, she's flopped, but I like. It took me so long because I was taught to throw as thin as I possibly could, and it took me so long to stop throwing thin, you know, with a perfectly thin bottom and like a perfectly thin walls, because then how are you supposed to get a real carved out foot, and how are you supposed to really carve out the sides, and what are you supposed to manipulate after that, you know? And there are a lot of beautiful, especially like porcelain throwers and traditional Japanese artists. They can throw so thin, and that is just a beautiful thing in itself. But I don't know, I'm just not really drawn to the like minimally manipulated things. I want to manipulate it as much as I can, and in order to do that, you need to try to throw thicker. What else should we talk about? Honestly, if there's anything that you want to talk about or anything that you're curious about or want to know, you should comment, and I will write it down somewhere, like in my notes app or something. And next time I'm sitting here and throwing, we can have a little yap and throw session where I yap and you listen, and then hopefully are doing something else that you enjoy. Let's see, something on my mind is that I am stressed about getting everyone's Christmas gifts done by Christmas, and also people's commissions for also Christmas gifts. And not just done by Christmas, obviously done much before Christmas, so that they're fired and glazed, and then I have, you know, time to pack them and then ship them, and then the mail system has time to get that to people. I mean, I'm a little bit stressed, I'm not gonna lie. I think every artist and creator around Christmas time are feeling probably a little similar. So if you have a commission coming from an artist, or you are an artist yourself, go easy on yourself, go easy on them. You know, maybe just offer some understanding. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, the only thing that will help me get out of that frozen, overwhelmed state and start to be actually productive is to be told, either by myself or by someone else, it's okay. You don't have to rush. You don't have to freak out. You'll get it done, but don't stress. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We'll love you anyways. Try to make your life sustainable. Don't make it unsustainable by burning yourself out. It's okay. Take your time. And whenever I or someone else tells me that, boom, I'm able to work so well. I'm able to get so much done. I'm creative, I'm energized, I'm positive, I'm happy, and I end up getting more than what I need to get done. And I just think that's so crazy how we can psych ourselves out so much to the point that we can't even function well, and we have to break ourselves down and put our bodies in freeze mode, and, you know, mess up our nervous systems to the point that we just can't do anything. And that's like, there's a lot of things that we can stress about. There's a lot of things that give us anxiety, but yeah, I don't know. You need to take that off of yourself somehow. One of the ways that I do, or at least us sentence that helps me is that both faith and fear require you to be affected by something that you can't see. So you can either choose to be afraid of something that you can't see and that you don't know exists, or you can have faith that you can do it, you're supported, and you have strength. And you can either have fear or faith. That's basically based in something that you can't see. So which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the one that uplifts you or the one that crumbles you? It's not always easy to do. It's obviously easier said than done, but something good to think about. I'm going to be throwing for a while. I have a lot of balls of clay down here. I'm not going to be stopping for a while. Another one. I need to throw a lot of ramen bowls. And ramen bowls, I don't know. I love ramen so much, so I know like they need to be a good size because you want, I splashed myself. You need to have a lot of broth. I love the broth. You need to have the noodle, and then you have like the egg and some like a protein source, and then like maybe some vegetables, and like, so it has to be a big bowl, and you don't want it to fill to the brim. You want some room, and then most ramen's eaten with chopsticks, so you want to have a rest to put your chopsticks. But the thing that I've been realizing after using ramen bowls with the chopstick rest is that I don't use it. I don't use the chopstick rest because, I mean, who needs to? You just kind of gotta like put your chopsticks down, or just in the bowl. Like, why do you have to rest it across the top unless it's on display when you're not eating out of it? And when you are using the bowl and it has that notch in the side where you rest the chopsticks, and then the hole where you put the chopsticks, that like soup can spill out of there, broth can spill out of there, and I don't know. People want ramen bowls, and I'm like, well, do you want just a nice big bowl to put ramen in? Because that's what I would want. Why do you want the hole and stuff? I don't know. I think I'm gonna ask. I think I'm gonna email them and be like, do you really want the hole? Because this is kind of what I'm discovering. Like the hole, it's not as good as it seems, which is almost kind of like weird for me, the person who's making them, to say I don't really like the way that I made them in the past. Do you agree? And I can, give you one without the holes, but maybe they do want the holes. I don't know. What do you think? You should let me know. Comment, please. I would like to know, do you like the ramen bowls with the hole and the chopstick rest, or do you like the ones, do you just want like a nice big bowl? Because, I mean, do you use the chopstick rest? Because I haven't yet. I haven't, and I don't know, man. See, this is a good size bowl for ramen. I mean, take in mind that the clay will shrink 10 to 20%, and I believe this clay is 15% shrinkage rate, so it's going to shrink like about like an inch in each direction. So you have to keep that in mind when you're making something. If you make something and you're like, dang, that's kind of big, that's like a big version of that thing, It'll probably be just about right once it's actually done. So always make things much bigger than you think. The first couple mugs that I ever made, I was like, oh, this is the perfect size. I'm so excited about this mug. And then when it came out, it's like I barely use it because it's never big enough for even like a cappuccino. Matcha. Whoa, all right. So my camera died, unfortunately, but also maybe fortunately, because I have been yapping for a while. I don't know what got into me that day, but I was definitely chatty. If you've gotten this far into the video, literally, I think, are we best friends now? I think we might be best friends now. We can, wait, what's your favorite dinosaur? Velociraptor. If you don't know that reference, it's from Step Brothers, very funny movie. Anyways, I thought that this was kind of fun, and honestly, it inspired me maybe to do a series like this, a Yap and Throw series, chat and wheel throwing series. You should let me know in the comments whether you liked it, if you've got any like topic ideas, or even maybe this could be a fun Q&A session, opportunity for questions and answers, stuff like that. I feel like this can offer a really good opportunity for authenticity, and I don't want to get too caught up in trying to grow. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I want to grow, and that is one of my 2025 goals in going forward, but I'm not just trying to chase views. You know what I mean? I want to create authenticity. I want to enjoy making videos. I want to enjoy creating a relationship with you. I mean, we are best friends now, after all. You know what I mean? So I think that this could be a really fun little series, Yap and Throw, where I kind of build my relationship with you, and you could be listening while you're doing something, listening while you're folding laundry or cooking or maybe journaling, or what else? Honestly, sometimes like I'll just put on a YouTuber that I find comforting, and I'll just have them on while I do tasks that I don't really enjoy, you know, sometimes when I'm eating or cleaning or something like that. So maybe that could be like one of these for you, you know, keep you company. So at the very least, I hope that it was comforting to you, maybe gave you some companionship for a little bit while you did something else, or if you actually watched, hell yeah. And at the very most, maybe it was actually helpful or informative, or I don't know, gave you a little something. Hopefully. Thank you for being here. We've been posting weekly for a while, and I'm just so proud and happy, and it's just so fun. So please remember to keep creating, keep experimenting, keep finding joy in the process, keep playing, and know that art is so important, my love, and so are you. See you next time.